All right, gentlemen, what do we got?
Donnell Moore, ready to full exam.
All right. You can have a seat. They train the attorneys to jump up when they talk to judges. Your appearance, counsel?
And good afternoon, Judge Oakley. Good afternoon to your staff. We were defendant service Carrie Martin, P 84592. On behalf of Mr. Donnell Moore, who sits to my left, Mr. Moore, your full name to the record.
My name is Donnell Moore. I go to that chart.
Good.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mohammed on behalf of the people.
All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Let's get started.
Feeling near you better,
Sure. Anybody in this courtroom that could be called to testify either today or at a later date for Mr. Moore?
That's Mr. Moore's mother, but I do not anticipate her becoming a witness.
Okay, thank you. Who's first?
People's first witness is Sergeant Fidesz.
Sergeant, raise your right hand. Swear, affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth today? Settle in, watch your step on my ramp. After you settle in there, spell your last name, please.
Last name is Cadez.
Just how it sounds. Thank you. When you're ready, Mr. Muhammad.
Sergeant Fidesz, are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
Who's your employer?
I'm employed by the Wayne County Sheriff's Department.
And in what capacity are you employed there?
I'm a sergeant assigned to our local patrol division.
And how long have you been employed there?
25 years.
And were you employed there on the date of January 12, 2025?
Yes, sir.
Did you work that date?
Yes.
You worked that date by yourself or with a partner?
I was assigned by myself.
On that date, did you work in full uniform or modified uniform?
Full uniform, marked patrol vehicle.
Okay, and on that date, did your duties as a sergeant take you at or near the location of Middle Belt and Goddard? Is that located in the city of Romulus, County of Wayne? What's that location?
I was on patrol in the city of Romulus conducting mobile speed enforcement.
Okay, and when you were at that location, you observed something that drew your attention?
Yes, I did.
What drew your attention?
My radar detector detected a vehicle traveling 60 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. I observed my side driver's mirror, a red Dodge Durango traveling in the curb lane northbound, Middle Belt, approaching Goddard.
And based on your observations, what did you do, if anything?
I allowed the vehicle to catch up to me. Once it did, I positioned my vehicle behind the red Dodge Durango and initiated a traffic stop.
And was that the vehicle that you had observed, in?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay, and what did you do next?
I initiated a traffic stop in the area of Middle Belt and Lorman and made an approach to the driver's side door of the red Dodge Durango.
Okay, and how many individuals were inside of this vehicle?
And one individual,
And where was that individual seated?
he was seated in the driver's.
Okay, do you see the driver in the courtroom today?
If you could step to the side, I'll be able to. Yes, I do see him. He's wearing a blue tiger shirt.
Noted.
Thank you. And did you make contact with the driver of that vehicle?
I did. I made contact. I requested the driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
Okay, and did the driver produce that?
He did not.
Okay, and what happened next?
I again reiterated that I was requesting his driver's license, registration, insurance, and the individual began debating the validity of the traffic stop and refused to provide all the requested documents.
And what exactly was he saying?
He was stating that he was only doing 45 miles per hour.
Okay, and what was your response?
I informed him that he was at 62 miles per hour in the 45 mile per hour zone. That had probable cause to make the traffic stop, and again requested his driver's license, registration, and insurance.
And how many times did you make that request?
I believe at this point I made it 3 times.
Okay, and what happened next?
He continued to not provide the requested documents. At that point, I notified my dispatch that I had a driver refusing to identify and requested backup.
Okay, and why did you request that?
I didn't know who I was dealing with, and it's kind of a procedure for us that anytime we have somebody not failing to identify, we're gonna have backup officers arrive on scene to assist.
Okay, and what happened next?
Made orders to provide driver's license registration insurance.
Do you recall exactly what you said?
I continued to ask for his driver's license registration insurance.
Okay, and did the defendant comply with those requests?
He did not comply.
Okay, and what happened next?
I informed him that I had a lawful. I was giving him a lawful order. Michigan law requires him to provide a driver's license upon request by a police officer. Failed to comply, that he'd be going to jail.
Okay, and what happened after that?
I continued to wait for my backup to arrive. At one point, I just asked him specifically just for his name, to see if he'd provide his name, and he told me that he was not obligated to give me his name. But
And what did you do next?
I attempted to run a check on a vehicle, do a license plate to determine if possible that I could identify the driver as the registered owner of the vehicle. And dispatched to run the license plate, however, the license plate did not come back to me.
Okay, and what happened next after that?
At this point, it's probably a course of maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I believe two backup officers arrived. The driver continued to not identify himself, so I had one of the backup officers position his vehicle in front of the red Dodge Durango. Make sure that it's Corporal Armstrong and Sergeant Middlestat arrived on scene and attempted to assist me with getting the driver to identify himself.
And how did they assist?
Corporal Armstrong made contact with the driver, reiterated that I was requesting his information, asked for him to provide it.
Okay, and what happened next?
At this point, I informed the driver that he was under arrest, failing to comply with lawful order and provide his driver's license, and it ordered him to step out of the unlock the door and step out of the vehicle.
And did you comply? And what did you do next?
He was given instructions again to comply. Eventually, I believe after about 15 minutes at this point, he rolled his window down and provided Corporal Armstrong with a state identification card.
Okay, and what did you observe happened next?
At that point, again, continued to attempt to get him out of the vehicle. He was informed that if he failed to exit the vehicle, that his window would be breached.
And why would the window be breached?
Because that was the only way for us to gain access to him, and he was refusing to exit the vehicle.
And was the window breached?
Window was not breached after multiple attempts from Corporal Armstrong. Eventually, I believe that about 15 minutes, exited the vehicle and was taken into custody.
Okay, and why was he taken into custody?
For failing to identify and for not providing a driver's license and obstruction.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Cadet.
Definitely.
Questions for you. So I just want to start with your traffic stop. So your testimony was that you had observed Mr. Moore, my client, driving 62 in a 45 zone.
Yes, sir.
And that this was based on radar that you had.
Yes.
You say it was a rear car radar,
Yes, sir. Our vehicles are put with front and rear radar.
so it's built into the vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. Does that radar give any sort of display, like on a screen, of the speed that it detects?
Yes, it does.
And then are you able to create any sort of recording or record or receipt of that radar display?
No, we do not.
It just, spits it out one time for you to see, and then there's no record of it?
As far as record, I do not believe that there's any permanent record of what the radar displays. No.
Okay. And then how did you actually observe the radar readout?
So the way our radars work is it gives a visual display, which is going to be a specific number. And then it also is gonna give an audio tone. So a louder audio tone indicates a faster moving vehicle. And then obviously just by visual display, you're able to see what the number is on the radar detector.
So the audio tone, it doesn't say 62 miles an hour, it's just like some sort of ding.
Starts off lower, the slower a vehicle's going, the lower the audio tone is, the faster the vehicle's going, the louder the audio tone is.
Okay,
And those are simultaneously go on at the same time.
so it doesn't say words, the audio.
No, it doesn't.
Now, you don't have any sort of recording, whether it be on your dash cam, body cam, of any of this. Is that correct?
He was behind me, so we don't have we have an in-car video camera, but that's obviously gonna only record what's taking place in front of the vehicle.
So if we watched your dash cam, would you agree that at no point on the dash cam does it show Mr. Moore speeding?
No, it does not.
It does not show him speeding.
The dash cam, no, again, Mr. Moore was behind me when he was observed going 62 and a 45, and the dash cam only records to the front of the vehicle.
Right. So by the time he's in front of you and pictured on your dash cam, he's not speeding. Agreed?
That's correct.
And then you execute this traffic stop, it's only because of the speed, right?
Yes, sir.
You hadn't run the plate prior to initiating that stop.
No,
Okay. And so you begin this traffic stop, and then you call in your backup officers. You said that they blocked in his car.
yeah, I had one of the officers park his car in front of his vehicle.
Right. But there was you never had any specific indication that he was trying to flee, right?
I stated that I did that because he hadn't identified himself at that point, and I didn't know who he was.
But at the point after you stopped the car, at no point did you see that car move again, right?
His vehicle?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay. So now I want to talk about what we're calling the resistance here. So your testimony on direct was that he was given a number of orders to identify himself, provide documentation, and he did not comply with those orders.
That's correct.
At no point was he assaulting you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And at no point were you trying to, for example, reach his car and he was trying to expel you from the car. Is that correct?
Yeah, his windows were up and his door was.
Okay, so you had no ability to have physical contact with him or he with you during this conversation, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And he did eventually comply with a number of orders, correct? So he eventually did provide his Michigan ID card.
Again, after I think about somewhere around 10 minutes. 10 minutes to 15-minute range.
But yes, after that time, he provided an ID.
After that time.
Okay. And then he did eventually follow the order by stepping out of the vehicle and submitting to arrest, right?
Yeah, that was at like the 15-minute mark of the traffic stop. He did exit.
Okay, so that's a yes.
At the 15-minute mark, yes.
Okay. And you're not alleging any sort of assault or resistance that happens after he's out of that vehicle and he's in custody, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So what we're talking about here in terms of alleged resistance is the conversation that he's having with you from inside the vehicle, right?
His refusal to follow my commands.
Okay. And if I showed you, I'd actually like to play and admit a portion of the dash cam. I would like to have that as a defense exhibit.
We gotta do anything over here, you know?
Can he go through Zoom? Mr. Martin, are you able to?
I would take a little longer, but I can do it.
We gotta do something on the little screen though, don't we?
We can if he has the HDMI cord,
I can, that's
which is in the
probably-
drawer.
And submitting to cuffs by you and your colleagues.
Yes, sir.
And at no point during this, was he physically, during this clip that we just watched, at no point was he physically interfering with or resisting you or your colleagues.
His split started at like 16 minutes, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
No, it was on.
Okay. No further, thank you.
Mr. Mohammed, anything else? Sorry, you can step down. Watch your step on my ramp. Anything else from the people, Mr. Mohammed?
Nothing.
Any defense witnesses?
Mhm.
Ready for argument?
Your Honor, I believe the testimony reflects the question of fact. Now we'll reserve any argument.
Judge, I believe this case should be dismissed. I don't believe probable cause has been shown here of resisting obstructing the police officer. The case law, Michigan case law has looked at this, and despite what the word obstruct, what that may mean, in the dictionary definition, if you're just reading the resisting obstructing statute, this law has been challenged over and over again, and courts have found that in order to uphold it, obstruct has to mean something akin to physical interference or a threat of physical interference. That is not what we have. We have is a verbal conversation between Mr. Moore and officers. They're separated by a window the whole time. There's no threat of physical interference from Mr. Moore, and if any, the threat to get physical comes from the officer saying we're going to break down try to get through your window, which they never do because Mr. Moore complies and without any ounce of physical resistance steps out of that car, submits to handcuffs. We have the testimony that there's no allegation of other resistance apart from this verbal interaction between the officers. And I would also just note for the record that I'm not even sure that they met their burden to establish that this is a lawful detention, because there's just no evidence to support other than an officer's uncorroborated testimony that there was a speeding infraction. But mostly I'm resting my argument on it, that this is not any bit of physical resistance. I mean, this is not even one of those cases of just, hands tensing up. There's no moment. I think it should be dismissed. I'm objecting to my vote. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.